First of all, you can see I have white gloves on. Okay. The reason we do this is it will keep any of the natural oils on my skin off of the gown once it has been cleaned and pressed if need be. Now, a lot of the gowns, they don't need to have maybe just a little bit of steaming done to them once they are cleaned. The boxes that we use are acid-free, made especially for wedding gowns. So we take our paper and we line our box. Now we have a lot of times gowns will come in that does not have an underskirting, a netting of any sort. So the gown that we have that we're going to be boxing today does not have that to it. It had a detachable underskirting to it, and what it was is just plain netting. So what we do is we just kind of lay it on the box, and then we put the paper between our layers, which will also help our netting from turning yellow. Anytime that you open your box and take your gown out, remember to keep the same paper that you had, because you want to put it right back into the acid-free tissue. So now we have the tissue paper in has our skirt covered. Now we'll put the gown in. As you can see, that this is a very straight gown. It doesn't have too much flare to it. There's no sleeves. It's a strapless. So we turn it backwards, spread the skirt out so we know how far up it's going to fold in, and we start putting our layers of paper between our dress. Okay, once we do that, and we always want to make sure that our box is full. So sometimes we will take our tissue paper and actually stuff it in around the gown, which helps to take up the air that will be in the box once we put the lid on. The air is also sometimes a detriment to your gown. Anytime you have a gown of any sort, whether it be a prom gown, christening gowns, or anything like that, never just preserve it in a plastic bag, because the plastic itself will gather moisture. It will put sometimes even a coating on the material as the air will suck in dust and other things out of the air. So always try to have anything like that put in a box and possibly preserved with the acid-free paper. Now we have our gown in our box, and as you can see, we still have some room in our boxes. So we're going to just take and crumple some paper and tuck it underneath, which will take some of the space. Now we can put anything in our box. If you have an artificial flowers, we can put those, add those right into the box. Some of the girls will wear little satin slippers. We can put those in. The garters, little boutonnieres, your ring pillow, or sometimes they'll have the little silk purses that they keep, little mobilia things in. We can singly wrap all of those together using our acid-free paper and tucking it into the box, which will, you'll have those as preserved also. Now we have a veil that goes with this dress, and depending on how long the veil is, now this is just a short veil, we'll also put this into tissue paper. But since it is a short one, and we already have a layer of paper underneath the gown itself, we're just going to lift the gown up and lay the veil down in this way. Okay. Then we just kind of want to give a little bit of show here, so that whenever she opens up her box, she can see that her veil is also in the box and how she wore it. We have another insert that goes into this box that is has a peekaboo lid, so that you can actually open the box and show it to anybody that comes in and would like to see the gown. All you have to do is just lift the lid, that you'll be able to see it. I don't think you necessarily want to take it out, but it would be visible so that you could show them what your gown looked like. It just slides down that side. Make sure you have everything pulled up from it. Now this is where we get to play with it for a little bit, because when you lay it down, you want to make sure that it's centered in the oval, and that that you're satisfied with the way it looks before we put the finishing touch in. Now before we close the lid for final, we have a pair of gloves that we put actually in the box for the bride whenever she decides that she actually wants to take the gown out of the box and handle it in showing it, or maybe just taking it out and looking at it, is for her to put on, so that the oils and that she has on her hands will not transfer onto the materials of the gown. So then the box then has a heavy seal that we put on it and close the lid, and it's ready for you to come and pick up and put on display wherever you'd like to. The biggest question, I would say, would be the type of boxing and, again, the tissues they use, making sure that they use top quality. Again, there's always ways you can cut corners, but at Balford's we don't cut corners. We want to use the best that we can to preserve an heirloom like this, even into some vintage gowns that we get, and we restore them. We want to make sure that we use the best quality materials that we can for that, and in doing so, our reputation goes before us. So it's like anything else. Ask around, where did you get your gown done, and I'm pretty sure they'll say Balford's, because we do an awful lot of them.